In 2017, we saw countless celebrities coming into cryptocurrency. Bitcoin was hot. Mainstream adoption was seemingly right around the corner. But what happened? When the price dropped, all of these mega celebs completely disappeared. Only a very select handful of celebrities have remained in cryptocurrency trying to build something positive. One of those celebrities is Akon, who's coming out with his coin, Akoin, meant to bring underdeveloped countries and underdeveloped economies up to the next financial level. I sat down with Akon and his team to discuss Akoin and all of its possibilities. Oh yeah, and I made a few dad jokes. Let's get it.
Thanks so much for being with us, BitBoy. We really appreciate it. Fan of your podcasts, fan of your research, fan of your thoughtful presentation of pros, cons, ups, downs, etc. You're one of the ones we love and follow. So we're honored that you could spend some time with us talking about what we're doing at Akoin, some of our exciting joint ventures, whether it's connecting the unconnected with World Mobile, the mass utilization in Wale Medical and Technology City, where we'll be paying all 9,000 plus employees with Akoin and stimulating a lot of transactional flow in the ecosystem, or things like building social money systems with Roll. So lots of really interesting stuff we're doing as we move down the pathway towards being hopefully one of the very first utility tokens that can drive mass utilization. So hopefully you'll be kind to us on future segments as you watch what we're doing and how. Just know that our spirit for social impact is very, very true. This is something that's near and dear to Akon and my heart. This is his vision, his dream that he started talking to me about now about 3 years ago. So just about to go live on Bittrex Global out of Liechtenstein. We had all kinds of swirl around that, and there you go. That's our tee up. But we're so happy that you could join us at the last minute.
Yeah, well, definitely. I think I've had a long, tough day today. Very, very busy, and I was just looking for something that could be a sweet escape for this, and hopefully by the end of this, I don't end up locked up. So I guess that's where we'll just have to see. I've been working on those jokes for 5 minutes, so.
Right.
Yeah, but definitely, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. Glad to join. I think what Akon is doing. I'm talking in third person like he's not here. I think what you're doing, Akon, is incredible. And we've seen a lot of people try to come into the space from other areas and niches, and you find it's hard. It's hard. This is an emerging technology, and I really applaud you for sticking to this and really doing what you can do to make the world a better place.
No, thank you, man. I really appreciate it, and I agree with you. I think I watched a lot of people as I came up with just slowly disappear. I think a lot of it is because most of it was just following the fad, or trying to figure out the opportunities to get more exposure, or try to actually understand it, learn it, couldn't really quite get it, and just figured out it wasn't really for them. But my purpose really is to find the right infrastructure and the right tools for underdeveloped markets, specifically, places like Africa, and of course, Latin America and India and places like that as we grow in. But ultimately, when you look at these kind of situations, it can not only help the underdeveloped aspects, but it can also improve all the developing markets and make things a lot easier, So I always like the concept and the idea of how they said, when the iPhone came on board, your grandmother could use it. Before then, no one knew how to even use a computer. iPhone come with these little apps that you just hit one button and everything is done for you. And 2 or 3 hits, you get exactly what you wanted. And I figured that crypto will do that for a lot of us in the future when it comes to the financial institutions.
Absolutely. Sending money, receiving money, becoming your own bank. And people forget how fast all this changes. I mean, we've been talking about crypto's been exciting. We had the bear market, but really since 2017, things have really been popping off. Even maybe not necessarily with price, but behind the scenes building and things like that.
Right.
And I think people forget that 11 years ago, it was 2007. So 13 years ago, we didn't even have an iPhone. I think 2007 was when the iPhone launched. So we didn't have it at all. And now it's our entire lives is wrapped up in this little bitty thing right here. Could you imagine not having this? You go somewhere where you don't have service and you're like, what do I do? And that's how it's going to be with crypto. And the financial world, probably in the next 10 years.
Right. I agree, and I think crypto is going to be pretty much the same thing. Ultimately, right now, even all the phone conversations is beyond a conversation. Like you actually live your whole day-to-day life on it, paying all your bills and all your transactions, all being emitted on that specific device. So you can't even leave without it. I mean, I not only just look through all my cameras in my house. I mean, I pick up adjust my temperatures for my houses in that thing. I mean, I unlock and start my car from that thing. I mean, everything now is done on that device, and I think as we're thinking about how the world is moving forward, and you're not taking to an accountability to create, a more digital savvy, comfortable way of moving forward for your finances, it's just impossible because the world is ran on money and how it moves. So for you to think that money is not going to digitize itself like everything else did, you're really moving super slow. So it's better for you to get on board and move forward with it, because crypto is going to be the future of how money's spent, dealt with, and negotiated.
Yeah, I think so, 100%. So I don't know who created the term industrial revolution, but I'm trying to create the next term. Okay. We had the tech boom, we had the .com bubble. Okay. The next one is the digitalization boom. This is where everything is going to go digital. And when you look at what Andreas Antonopoulos talks about Internet of Money, he's one of my, well, maybe the only Bitcoin speaker I really like. But I really love Andreas Antonopoulos and a lot of stuff he says. And the Internet of Money, kind of the basis of it is that Bitcoin is the first layer of this entire new world that we're building, of this entire new application of technology. And, I think it's going to be really exciting to see what all these other layers are going to be. We're digitalizing our money, but everything else is going to be coming right behind it. We see it with gaming and esports and NFTs and all these things. Like that's just the first part of this. But I want to ask you a question, Akon, because I think you're the digital city. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I'm really interested in that. I know that we look around the world and we say, like, okay, well, where are a lot of places that people are not banked, right? South America has a very large contingent. Africa has a large contingent. I don't know this for sure, but I assume there's parts of Asia, maybe Southeastern Asia, that aren't. But how does that all work together? The digital city with trying to bank, people that may not necessarily have ways to send and receive money.
Well, I think it's because you got to think of it like this, right? When you have a place like Africa or South America or India, places where you have a vast amount of people that are unbanked, only a system like this actually can work, especially when they're already in position to where they're actually utilizing it already on their mobiles, paying all their bills of sending money back and forth to it, depositing and receiving monies from it. They're pretty much already in that situation. And ultimately now in certain parts of Africa, which gave us a huge idea to create what we call an atomic swap on our platform, is people are using actual cell phone minutes as currency itself.
Oh, wow.
Right. So we realized that people were not even using the local money anymore. They would take local cell phone minutes and go to the local market and buy fruits or vegetables or, meats with the actual cell phone minutes. So we created what we call an atomic swap on the Akoin platform that allows you to take those minutes now and turn them into actual currency and be able to now spend Akoins for those actual products that you would normally spend minutes for. So it's little things like that, when you're paying attention to underdeveloped markets, they're so creative as to how they're living their basic day-to-day. We want to be able to digitize that creation and that creativity. And it goes right back to what you're saying. This is going to be the beginning of the digitization boom, the digital boom, because ultimately everything now is being digitized, including your thoughts.
Absolutely. AI, all of it. Yeah.
Right.
So to put some more color to that one, in Kenya, where we're about to launch a huge utilization in Mwale Medical and Technology City in Western Kenya, they've essentially outlawed physical currency and shifted to all transactions going digital. They've had M-Pesa there for a while with 40 million plus users, but there are alternatives popping up, and we're, with our partners there, being pushed forward as a more efficient, more versatile tool that can help that digital ecosystem. Because it's not just using the prepaid minutes, it's supercharging them so they can convert into fiat currencies or some of the major cryptos like USDT or to Bitcoin, et cetera. And then lots of other ways for people to, as Lynn loves to say, learn, earn, spend, and save. But it's it's not only the future, it's the very, very near future. And in some places it's now.
Yeah.
100%.
It's gonna happen like this. We're gonna, I look at the example of, and this is one I've been using a little bit lately when I've been talking with people. I never in my wildest dreams, I don't know how degenerate you guys are in cryptocurrency, but I live in the underbelly. I want the super gambling coins, the ones that I can put $1 in and make 100, or more, or put $1 in and somehow lose 100 somehow. You know how that works, but I've done it before. So I like that stuff. So I love Uniswap, and I'm a big Uniswap guy. I've been exchanging crypto on there. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that decentralized exchanges would be able to totally overtake the exchange market, and it happened in about 6 months. And I think that's just a real big example of how fast this entire scene, finances, the world economy, how fast it can all change, and it all change like that. So I think that, the more prepared that we can be for that change, and the more prepared we can educate people to be for themselves, because people are worried about how are they going to protect their families in a financial crisis. And, I think a lot of us believe one way or the other, we're probably facing one here pretty soon in the United States. And giving more people options to be freedom and, have freedom in their finances, I think is always a good thing.
No, I agree with you 100%. And I think that's what makes it scary, the fact that people are uneducated to it. And I think that's why it's great for what, we're doing now with this lockdown, to kind of give people a more insight on how these things work, give them more information on the utilization tools of it, the advantages, the disadvantages. But, of course, as you move forward and you be able to gain more intel about it, it gives you more comfortability to know that you can literally be a part or invest or even utilize your actual day-to-day monies and, turn it into whatever you want to turn it to on a crypto level. And I think, the biggest misconception is that it's like no one knows what it is. They always hear blockchain next to cryptocurrency, and then that literally is what puts you in a position where you get completely confused, because now it becomes conversation be so digitized, and it's more of a programmer's conversation than a utilizer's.
Absolutely.
And that's when I realized that when I explain it to people, I don't speak it from a coder. I speak it from an average person that would be using it, and that's like prime example. I had plenty of guys that was like, well, but how do you spend it? I said, okay, do you have an iPhone? They said, yeah. I said, do you use Apple Pay? They said, yeah. I said, it's pretty much just like that. It's money, but it's just not in your pocket. It's actually in a wallet, right? So it's just digital money. It's digital currency. It's exactly like the dollar that you would be spending in the store. The only difference is you don't physically carry it. It's protected with the passcode, and you actually have intel and data that allows you to be able to trace that money, where it goes, who it went to, how much of it went there, and where it follows after that. Like, you can literally have all that information that goes with it. It's not just, you handing it to a teller and then that dollar you never even see ever again. These dollars you can actually track.
No many ideas how many strippers' thongs those have been in. I don't know. Maybe you do, Akon. I don't know.
I can relate. I got a lot of bills floating around the world right now.
So here in Atlanta, we're kind of known for that thing. So, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really good what you guys are doing. I love what you're saying about making things normal. It's really difficult, because that's what I do on my channel is I try to just speak normal language. I'm a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? I like sports. I, coach my kids and their stuff. I'm a dad. I make dad jokes. I do the whole thing. I'm a normal guy. I'm not a computer programmer. I'm not a financial advisor, as we like to say here. I'm none of that stuff. I'm just a guy that got really interested in the movement and in the money-making aspect of cryptocurrency and the decentralization of it, the social aspects. And I love it, but it's hard to explain to people that aren't into it because everybody tries to get too technical. Like, they try to explain too much. And that simple... I like to use the example a lot of V-Bucks, like for Fortnite, because that's what my kids, they don't want money for their birthdays. They don't want it. They want V-Bucks. And it's like for kids, that's the way to kind of explain to them what it is. They kind of understand, So I think you just got to bring it down to people's level. Not that, we're superior or above people. I just mean, you got to take the language. And I think sometimes there is a push for like coders and programmers where they kind of think they're sometimes the end all be all of this space, but for it to be used, you have to bring people in that don't understand that stuff.
Right, and they're the worst guys to explain it to you. because I had to understand to learn even how to explain it to others. And I was like listening to it from coders and programmers. I would still be confused today. I promise you. They're the worst guys to explain it to you.
Yeah, we're all about utilization, and people can't use it if they can't understand it. So
Right.
it needs to be super clear, super easy, super simple, and we're all about using that tool you had in your hand there, that phone, and not even just a necessary smartphone. The base level of using Akoin you can do on a simple $10 flip phone for typical transactional stuff. So better with a smartphone, so you can access the wallet and all those tools and services to do all kinds of other things. But it's all about ease and making things just very, very, very functional without a huge amount of sophistication necessary.
Yeah.
And creating a lot of utilizational tools, because the one thing I've realized that a lot of people, you know, the mistake they made when they created their coin, you couldn't use it for nothing. Like you couldn't literally use it for nothing, you know, outside of what they thought you should use it for. And I think that if you're going to utilize a token, it should play like an actual currency where you can be able to go anywhere and use it for whatever reason. So we want to create every natural thing that you would naturally do in your life, utilize it for in your life, need in your life, and want in your life. And all these things, we want to be able to create those opportunities and utilizational tools for you to be able to use it for. So that's the key of why we create so many partnerships with so many different companies. And John can attest to that. Partnerships is how we grow. And we want to be able to utilize anything that we feel can be of help or can, you know, expand someone's day-to-day adventures or, you know, a life, or advance them in any kind of way. We want to be able to utilize whatever that component is and, you know, inject Akoin within that system to where the average everyday person can now utilize that same activity and be able to utilize the coin to be able to, you know, connect with that activity.
One other piece to just note is we've crossed the barrier between digital stuff and real world stuff with our partnership with a company. We'll be having Akoin branded MasterCards before the year is out.
Oh, wow.
So if somebody wants to be, you know, buying something from whoever, Amazon or whatever, to be delivered to their rural area or urban area, wherever, they can do traditional transactions as well as frictionless digital ones. So there you go.
Yeah. What is the timeline? What are you guys looking at for a timeline on you know, everything on your roadmap?
Well, let's see. We're listing in less than 3 weeks on Bittrex Global. We have certain of our implementations going on. Moale will be paying their first employees payroll with Akoins starting in less than a month's time. By year end, the vast majority of their employees will be being paid with Akoin, and that leads to a huge number of transactions digitally monthly. We had Julius Moale on Blockdown with us yesterday, and we have a very aggressive plan there. We've already launched our partnership with Roll, and we're starting to build out the first social money systems with Roll right now. But lots of our implementations are going. We're in the ramp-up phase with World Mobile to be doing some very interesting things with mesh Wi-Fi networks and others. Sense Chat, we're one of the biggest communities built on that when they go live later this month. So we have lots and lots of pieces that are coming online right this second. But we'll send you some fun stuff to see. The Jeeve network digitized healthcare is ramping up. We're just finishing the agreements for the launch of that starting in Senegal. So we've got a lot of pieces that are coming online and we're the front end facing parts of all of these things. So the way that the consumers intersect with, again, whether it's Akoin.net powered by World Mobile for their Wi-Fi, connecting the unconnected, the front end facing part of all of that is Akoin.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Connecting the unconnected. I like that. That's good.
Well, we built the Akoin token to bank the unbanked, and there's a great article that was written about a year ago about how we're the last mile solution to bank the unbanked, particularly in Africa, supercharging prepaid cell minutes. We're working with World Mobile in a great collaboration and partnership there to connect the unconnected and all of these different things to build ecosystems and ways for people to improve their quality of life through the wonders of blockchain. is what we're about. We're at the intersection of social impact and utilization. So.
Yeah, I like it. I think all that sounds great. Really excited to see what you guys are going to be doing going forward. Now, I know one time I debated whether I should say this or not.
Say it.
Yeah, but one time I went to play Mortal Kombat in the arcade. It's one of my favorite games. And I tried to shove $1 in it, and it wouldn't work. And they told me I had to use a coin to do it. So I guess this is it. I guess this is the coin. I can finally put in the my employees are rolling their eyes at me. They hated that. So yeah, really excited.
So don't you worry about it. We love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mortal Kombat, we'll be having a meeting with you soon for that.
Oh yeah, I know, right. Yeah, I love Mortal Kombat, man. That's my jam right there.
Right.
Well, cool. Well,
Thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
We look forward to coming on your show when you have some moments in the next number of weeks. So we'll send you a whole bunch of things and see if we can get you really excited about these mass utilization cases, because they're very auspicious, and I could never do it without that man sitting across the world with the very lovely jacket and sweatshirt.
It is a nice
there.
jacket. I was sitting here thinking,
awesome.
man, what kind of jacket is that, man?
If I told him, I'd get a huge endorsement.
Yeah, that's an expensive one.
I'm gonna go out and get me one though, man. Don't think I can't be stylish because I'm wearing a pink shirt.
We'll tell
you
offline. We'll get it for you.
When I come to see you in Atlanta, I'm gonna bring one for you.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do it.
Then I'll take you to Cheetah's so we can have lunch and donate some Akoins over there. You know?
But at the end of it, you're gonna have to leave in the jacket and nothing else.
Oh gosh.
Well, you'll have had lunch at Cheetah's, so I mean, I don't know where the rest of your clothes might have gone. So.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on with us. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nah, thank you, bro.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Akon. I know I had a great time. He said he's going to take me to the Cheetah. I don't know if my wife's going to be okay with that. We'll have to check. But let me know what you guys think down below by dropping a comment. That's all I got. Be blessed. Big boy out.